Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Songea karibu mpenzi, nieleze kinagaubaga jinsi unavyonienzi na msichwa tamna ubaya. We really dig your style, make original, by your smile. No, I draw an extra mile for your love, baby. For your love, go I need up all night if you want it. My love, I can play your wife and pay you your children. My love, we getting married on Tuesday. So ain't it picky, yeah. Feeling lonely, oh. When I look into your eyes, I'm addicted. I've been losing myself for a decade. Hard what to say me. Early in the morning, you burn me bright with desire. You burn me bright with desire. Give me your love all day, I will reciprocate all night. Make you want to relocate. Scripture and original, I won't beg you. Mpenzi, come to hit the road and the highway, give it all life for you. For your love, go I need up all night if you want it. My love, I can play your wife and pay you your children. My love, we getting married on Tuesday. So any piggy, yeah. You burn me bright with desire. You burn me bright with desire. Go down, go down, go up. Go down, go down, go up.
You guys are doing amazing today. It's exactly 48 minutes past the top of the hour, and of course, Karibuni sana to another beautiful episode of the Pan-African Bliss. That is Shaka Donna, literally herself, Tabi for life, playing right here on the media of the 21st century. And the name of the jam is Tuesday. The makeup done by me, literally, by the way, just a PSA. But I hope you guys are doing amazing. To everyone who's tuning in via the radio station, Spreaker, Spotify, on YouTube, on BitChute, all our streaming platform. Karibuni sana. Wishing you a beautiful, great day ahead. And of course, hope you get to enjoy today's conversation. As we talk about today, we're going to be focusing on the Kenyan election, the democracy, and the long-term leaders. And of course, this conversation also, they're going to be backed with a lot of conversations that I'm going to be having. I have a couple of videos I'm going to be sharing about that particular topic, about long-term leaders and how they've actually failed to serve the African people or the nations. We're also going to be looking at also democracy itself. We know that this is a fake term that is not actually even put into action. I think I also mentioned that yesterday, and I keep on mentioning it. And shout out to also Ibrahim Traore said, actually, when you talk about independency, it's also fake. These are terms that white people love using. And it's amazing because I have a video of this Kenyan lady who is also talking about something very interesting. I'm going to be sharing about that as well. But we're also going to talk talk about what is happening in Kenya and Haiti. As you see, the Kenyan troops are back in Haiti with an exchange, or in an exchange of where the Chad troops have taken control of Haiti, or rather been sent to Haiti. And remember, we had actually 5 particular countries that were supposed to be contributing on sending their troops to Haiti. We had Kenya, we had Chad, we had Benin, we had Jamaica, Chad, Kenya, Benin, Jamaica, which I think withdrew from that particular mission. And I can't remember the 5th country, but there were almost like 5 countries. So currently, the Chad people are going to be going there, and I'm going to give you updates on that in a few. We have Kenya also signing deals with China, which has granted free duty access or to agriculture imports from Kenya starting May. We're going to be looking at how this is actually very bad, and how China actually has been exploiting Africa in the name of cooperation, collaboration as well. And we're going to be looking at that also by sharing some other videos, and how actually the fact that China has announced that they're going to be collaborating again with Africa starting May, what this could mean to Africa itself, because we're exporting raw materials. So talking about things like, again, our raw materials, we're talking about in terms of agriculture, cocoa beans, we have a lot of things. We have cotton, crude oil, and so many things. So how will Africa benefit? That should be the question. On the other hand, we're going to be discussing about Nigeria and the EU, who have also signed a deal of $200 million. That is a pact to develop defense technology. How is the UAE going to benefit? Was Nigeria benefits from this? And much more coming from Tanzania. As you see, the DRC and Tanzania have actually signed a deal as well. This is actually to sell Lake Tanganyika. This is the 2nd largest lake in the whole world, and actually holds the biggest percentage when you talk about fresh water. I think we're talking about fresh waters just last week, looking at the countries that have large water bodies that contain fresh waters. And of course, Africa is the continent itself, and much more coming from literally the continent. You're going to be looking at how Morocco have been announced as the 2025 AFCON winners. Isn't that actually very crazy? Because I thought it was Senegal that won this match. So apparently now we have Morocco, which has been given the cup, which is, talk about racism and so much. But a quick reminder before we get into that, kindly get yourself the application on the Google Play Store. Blackout Fire Network is the name. We have amazing organic supplements. In case you've been looking for some organic supplements, we got you covered. We have CMOS turmeric gummy bears. We have ashwagandha multivitamin, CMOS, literally so much. So ensure you download the app on your phone if you are an Android user. Blackout Fire Network is the name. iPhone, laptop users, you can literally stream with us via our website link. That is the www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. And once you have all that, it's easy as ABCD to sign in. You're not required to put in any money. Just agree to the terms and conditions, and after that, you'll be guided to the application itself. If you're an Android user, the first thing you bump into on our page is the radio segment. You're gonna be able to hear all the conversations back to back, music, and better if you also explore the page itself. On the upper left, where we have the 3 lines, we have the show page, the social page. The show page you get to see the shows that have been done previously. The social page gives you the chance for you to post any link of trending conversation. And of course, we have the BHFN apparel store and the BHFN sports page. That's where you get our amazing merchandise and the amazing supplements. But for now, I'll again share some brain and focus formula and the benefit it comes with. And after this, we're going to come back and start with what is happening in Kenya and
Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just 1 capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
And remember, you can email us at kcnewsam15@gmail.com in case you're having any issues of purchasing the products, or literally after purchasing the products, in case you have any question. But without wasting much of your time, let me get straight to the conversation. We have Haiti, which has announced, of course, the replacement of the Kenyan troops with the Chadian troops. And of course, they're saying that the Chadians are supposed to be gradually replacing Kenyans. Dominican Republic Foreign Minister Roberto Alvazera says that Alvazer says that after meeting with the U.S. officials, adds that the Chadian troops currently are training in America and will begin deployment in April 2026. And it's crazy. It's the fact that the U.S., let's go back to that, is the fact that after a meeting with the U.S. officials, again, it tells you this is nothing to do with Africans helping other Africans, but Africans being divided. Because what are Chadians, Kenyans doing there? There's no any even reports that we've received since the deployment of these people about from the Haitians themselves. Remember, we had Haitians demonstrating on the streets, calling out to Ruto, a puppet leader. We had some US-based Haitians who are also living in America. They demonstrated, calling out most of these countries that accepted to send their troops, puppet countries. And they actually begged Kenyans to beg their president to stop sending troops to Haiti, because this is nothing to do with stabilization of peace at all. This is actually, again, Africans being used as guinea pigs to go play the role of America, because this is not our war. Literally, this is not our war. We don't even, some of the people probably, I bet most of these troops even going there, they don't even understand the history of this war, where it started, how it started. But because you're working as a police officer or whatever in your country, you just get to be deployed there. Now, the question, I remember actually we had some people who withdrew from Kenya before the deployment started. If you guys can remember, we talked about that. And after a few months, we had a couple of people who even died in that particular mission. And when the families back in Kenya were trying to follow up on the cases, they were being told, this is a U.S. Kenya government matter. The people shall not be allowed to intervene. The citizens are not allowed to follow up on their family members that were deployed there. And even making matters worse, we had some of them complaining about not being paid well, literally, and they're not being paid. So this is the video where we can see we have about 200 and just to confirm, I think it's 200 and something. Let me give you the numbers very correctly before I get to share this. Where we had some of them arriving, the Kenyan troops who have actually come back in Kenya. That was, I think, also in December or January. Some of them also landed back in the 254. But these were the songs they were singing of joy for finally completing their mission. The question is, what mission were you completing there? Haiti has been left on the same particular state, still exploitation of the people and resources, control of the country. There is nothing as independency in that country, just like the rest, where Africans are. So this is what the Kenyan troops want. Yeah, so this was at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport immediately after they arrived, being received by their family members, chanting, of course, songs of joy for coming back home safe. But the question, and one thing I'd say, is we have a joke when it comes to our military defense system, not even just Kenya, but the whole of the continent. There's no way personally I'm going to be working for this particular military or any defense. I wouldn't work for any defense organization, let me just call it that, any defense system in Kenya, Africa, anywhere in the world, because it's a joke. Again, you're being deployed not to go bring peace to the people, but cause more destabilization and destruction of the people. Shout out to Barbecue. I remember actually immediately after the troops were deployed to Haiti, it was also, I remember the US had put a large amount of money on anyone who's going to be able to capture him and kill him or take him to America. Those were the demands. But yes, they're saying 215 police officers who formed the second contingent of the multinational security support mission to Haiti have safely returned to Kenya. So this is early today, and we're going to see how the Chadians are going to operate this. Remember, they've said that they are currently training in America and will begin deployment in April 2026. So the fact that they're training in America tells you again, this is you're going to use tactics the way America wants you to use them, not the way you've been taught in your country, because your system of training is very weak. So you have to go there, understand the mission. We're coming for the oil, we're coming for the resources, whatever it is they want in Haiti. You have to be there, standing by and ensuring that it's all done, because that's what it's all about. The same with the UN. I think we talked about the UN troops, not the UN troops, but the UN peacekeepers, going back to history of them being in Haiti, how they raped women, children in majority. And all they did is actually just being told to leave the country, and nothing ever happened. And this way you can see the same cases of the UN peacekeepers of raping, torturing women and torturing, raping women is a history that is known of them in the African continent. But nothing gets to happen because, again, who is really our leader? Who are our leaders? But looking at still what is happening in Kenya, we have China, which has granted duty-free access to agriculture imports from Kenya starting, that is May 1st, 2026, in a move set to expand market opportunities for Kenyan farmers and agribusiness. Now, if we talk about the Kenyan farmers, number one, we know that not just Kenya, but African farmers, local farmers, they have not been supported in any way. And I'd say even one simple form of support is, number one, if we could have gotten rid of the pesticides, chemical that are being imported in Africa, that have been banned in Europe, that is number one, how way you can save the Kenyan African local farmers. And now you can support the agri-businesses. But this has not been done. This is something that has not been done. Apart from that, we've talked about how we can see the Chinese markets advancing in African countries, and specifically Kenya. We've seen even we have a Chinese market, but still, even the local people, the local markets or the local marketers, they have not been protected in any sort of way. So if you talk about we're going to expand the market opportunities for Kenyan farmers, we already have a problem with the Kenyan market. We have a problem with the Kenyan local farmers. We have a problem with the agri-businesses. So what is Ruto really talking about? And I'm going to explain how this is even a very big, dangerous move, not just for Kenya, but many African countries are going to be agreeing to this, because again, we understand the fact that we export our materials very raw and the fact that we buy them very expensive. The question again is, who really benefits the most? Who really is the biggest beneficiary? But they're saying China is granting duty-free access again to agriculture imports from Kenya starting May 1st in a move to expand market opportunities for Kenyan farmers and agri-businesses. The decision is expected to boost exports by making Kenyan produce more competitive in the Chinese market and strengthen trade ties between the two countries. Now, we know we're talking about countries that, number one, produce close to nothing, zero. As much as China, being backed by America, as we understand, they've managed to become big producers of so many things. But the question is how and where do they get most of these things that they actually even produce or get to, come up with in their countries? It comes back all the way to Africa. If you talk about the raw materials, the resources, everything is right here. But they're saying analysts say that the move could open new growth pathways for the Kenyan agriculture sector and deepen economic cooperation with China, which is a big lie. So let's look at this very quickly, this article, which is explaining how this is actually very, very dangerous to the African continent, not just even Kenya. And the question is even, why are we celebrating this? Because we're not supposed to be celebrating this. A good example is what I even said about yesterday, the fact that we are being told our fertilizer is going to, the prices are going to skyrocket because of what is happening between Iran, Israel, and America. And now this is going to, of course, affect not just even Kenya, but many countries that are dependent on Hormuz bringing things to Africa, literally. I said it's a time where Africa gets hit so hard to the point where we'll have to understand independency. We're too dependent on other countries that are busy building themselves economically, agricultural wise, but through us by taking our seeds and bringing us GMO seeds and all that. Literally, it has to get to a point where I believe Africa has to be hit so hard where we're going to have to go back to critical thinking of understanding we've completely lost dependency of independency. I mean, of so much to the point where we're so dependent and we don't know how to what to do about it. So they're saying China is one country. Africa is an entire continent. And yet the continent is celebrating access to the market of a single nation. I mean, just sit down with that and think about it. China is one country, Africa is an entire continent. And yet the continent is celebrating access to the market of a single nation. I mean, someone with critical thinking would literally be asking yourself, what's here to celebrate? We've been doing this with AGOA, and there's nothing we've benefited from. So they're saying, of course, looking at exactly why we shouldn't be celebrating, because some of the things we're going to be exporting, cocoa beans, we have cotton, which we've been doing, crude oil, and raw materials. And apart from this, is that these raw materials are not even finished products. And it goes even deeper. It goes even deeper. Apart from just even not them not being finished products, is the fact that we're not going to gain a single coin. Or if we gain, again, this is just maybe Ruto and the people working under him, but China benefits the most. That is just the truth. China will end up benefiting the most. And let me share a couple of videos literally explaining more of that, because even the Chinese themselves are admitting they have been exploiting Africa in many different ways.
One of the silliest arguments I've seen in relation to this whole debate around China being neocolonialist or imperialist in Africa is the argument of debt forgiveness. A lot of these individuals are arguing that because China has forgiven debt to some African nations, the relationship is no longer exploitative and they are actually mutually beneficial. And China is seeking to, bring forward a long-term path of development that mutually benefits both African nations and China itself. But I think the argument is just completely fallacious, especially when we look at history and realize that the West has also forgiven debt to African nations several times. Several times. Exhibit A, 2005, they forgave $18 billion in debt of Nigeria. Hold on. Exhibit B, they forgave the debt of 14 African nations. 14.
But the question is why? Why? That should be the question. In African countries, we're seeing this kind of moves and tactics being posed upon us. We should ask why. Why would I'm owing someone money, then today they just wake up, they tell me, Joby, I forgive you for owing me thousands, millions of dollars, and that's it, or yuans, and that's it. I should question myself, what is it that this person wants to benefit, or what is it that they could come and ask from me? And understanding the fact that I'm a raw producing country of mineral resources and many things that China benefits from in Africa, I should be ready for them coming for what's mine. I should be so ready. I think this is one of the countries as well we've seen being very clear when it comes to debt. If you're not paying, we've seen and witnessed countries like Zimbabwe, how even they overtook their magazine, they overtook some of their markets, literally. In Kenya, we had the NYS, shout out to Katie again, she was reporting this, how when China told us if we don't pay the SGR loan that we owed them on time, they're going to be taking control or introduce, actually, that is Mandarin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Mandarin, what in our country. And the NYS actually are among the group of people, allegedly, who are being taught Mandarin just because Kenya has not been able to pay the debt that we owe to China. So again, could this be maybe a tactic, going back to what Ruto is doing with China? Could this be another tactic of how maybe China is trying to benefit from the debt that Kenya owes them? just thinking about it. But
African nations in 2005. And if you're saying, oh, that's far in the past, just wait there. Exhibit C, they cancelled 99% of Somalia's debt just last year, 2024, right? So if we take that argument that China's debt forgiveness somehow means they are no longer imperialist and neocolonialist towards African nations, does that now mean that the West as a whole is no longer neocolonialist, no longer imperialist, or at least that relationship towards the African continent is no longer very exploitative because they're willing to forgive the debt of these nations?
No, it doesn't mean that. They're still exploit. Actually, that gives them a clear access and pathway of them coming to exploit you because, hey, I forgave you. You owed me. And look, you owed me and I forgave you. So you're going to give me a couple of golds and there's no questions about that. If not, you're going to have to pay me my debt. That is yuan, right? And with interest. And I can't imagine the interest of the Chinese debt. If the US debt, we can see how the interest is so big. I can't imagine the Chinese and how they've dominated so many African countries by giving them loans. It's crazy.
Here and there. Like, I feel like if you really look at it, a country given like forgiving debt does not mean anything in the grand scheme of things. You can still be imperialist, can still be neocolonialist, whilst trying to ensure that the economy does not completely collapse. Issuing debt forgiveness to nations is to ensure that their economies are still able to remain viable and you're still able to invest in them more and reap more rewards from the capital you invest into them. It does not benefit China or any Western nation for these economies to completely collapse. So the argument of debt forgiveness is null and void.
This is true. I'm not proud of this. No developed society should be proud of this. I mean, but the reality is that historically it is a little bit more of a negotiation than what Europeans have done and continue to do to the continent of Africa. I mean, the entire Western European identity and history, as it is in its modern form, is a parasitic relationship that has extracted its culture, its identity, its spirit, its labor, its workforce, its power, its intellect from the African continent. And at least China has, develops these things internally. Obviously, it's a massive imperial power structure that requires a massive amount of energy to maintain. And that's something that, humanity as a species in itself evolving will have to confront these challenging opportunities and these uncomfortable conversations. I'm not saying that China's perfect, but the reality is that, at least it's offering another platform aside from white supremacy European history.
Nah, it's not offering. Not offering anything different. That's the thing they like to tell us again. That's one thing I've understood with China. Also Russia. These people have the same tactics. And I love the fact that there's this lady who I'm going to be sharing a video when she talks about the history of Kenya and how Kenya was controlled by a private company before independency and all that. And she says again, what Keith says, time changes, they don't. Their behavior remains the same. So what makes you think these people actually, they have changed? The behavior is the same.
Is old when I found out.
There's no better platform and all that. A good example, I'd even forgotten about this video. This is the type of exploitation. Remember when we had a Chinese guy who was here recording videos of children, telling them to say, I think, words like I'm a monkey and all that.
Yes, you heard that correctly. The kids are saying, in Chinese, I'm a black monster. My IQ is low. This video was released in February 2020 on a Chinese social media.
Yeah, we can remember this, but we're not going to forget that.
In Ghana.
Over the past week,
this is in Ghana. This was in 2022. 2021 to be specific.
Thousands of Chinese miners are involved in an illegal gold rush that's stripping the country of a precious resource. It's destroying farmland and wrecking livelihoods.
They have destroyed my future now.
It's devastating the environment. A toxic mix of money and weapons is leading to resentment and violence.
And
the government admits the problem is out of control.
The scale is so vast.
is difficult to actually quantify.
Across Africa, China is striking deals to secure access to raw materials vital to its economic growth.
Across Africa. So this is nothing to do with Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria. Across Africa, this is their behavior, this is their tactic. And I bet it's the same tactic they're using now on Ruto, literally. Because what do you mean we're going to be cooperating, this is going to expand our market and all that bullshit. Why hasn't Ruto fixed our market, number one, by kicking out the Chinese people that is actually giving them acres of lands for them to create these so-called Chinese malls, which is destroying the Kenyan market? Why hasn't Ruto addressed the issue with the local farmers, how they're not getting enough support from the government itself, which they should, but instead we're actually more embracing things like what Bill Gates is talking about, us having GMO seeds, adapting to that, and even injecting our cows with vaccines that we don't know what they contain. So this is their behavior, and it's actually very pissing. This is their behavior. And again, this is why history is very important when it comes to these kind of things. If we were taught, there's someone who was saying they were facing some stuff, and then they were like, why are we not taught these things in school? Exactly. There's so many things you come to understand later when you're an adult. You're like, these are stuff I was supposed to be taught when I was in school. This is some critical thinking I should have grown up with. Like, this is just common sense. Why wasn't this in the system of education? But of course, this is the reason why. Because they want to keep these same tactics of cooperation, collaboration, when Africa doesn't benefit a goddamn dime.
China's government has given Ghana a $3 billion loan to develop its infrastructure.
$3 billion.
More than 10,000 Chinese
$3 billion loan.
Immigrants are arriving here every year, many of them hoping to make money. I was in Dunkwa, 6 hours drive from the capital Accra. I'd heard that hundreds of Chinese miners had arrived here in the past 2 years. Their presence in the town was hard to miss. It even has a Chinese supermarket. Dunkwa is a boom town. Its streets are lined with shops offering to buy gold. As soon as I arrived, I heard 2 Chinese miners had been arrested. Outside the police station, I met Francis Aqua. He grows cocoa, one of Ghana's biggest exports. He said he'd arrived at his farm to find that 2 men had driven a digger onto a field and started to dig for gold.
They have excavated the land, destroying the cocoa farm.
Claimed he'd been assaulted by a Chinese worker after an argument.
He climbed the machine. He came and started to beat me. I was in the seat. I couldn't do anything unless God had protected me.
He said he was shocked.
God cannot protect you from someone who's whooping your ass. You better wake up and start whooping back. That's what you're gonna do. And that's another problem. These Chinese people have become too comfortable, again, like Kid says, because of the African man being weak. And that's just the truth. The African man just being beaten like a child by a fellow man. You're one man beating my ass up. As a woman, personally, as a woman, me knowing me, Joby, shit. What? Nah, I don't know if I take this fighting spirit from my dad, because I'd say even my mom was a fighter, literally. She was a fighter. I don't know who I take it from, either both or individually. I just was born with it. But I'm not gonna stand there watching you whip my ass. Like, only God can protect me. It's not there, so you better do something about it. That's why you got one eye now. Look at that.
By the attack and wouldn't go back to work at the mine.
He doesn't have respect to human beings.
Idrisu said he'd reported the assault to the police.
When the
police won't do anything. It's very evident. You've seen how the police themselves are being treated by these Wazungus and the Chinese people. How you're a police officer, but even a foreigner can spit on you because they don't respect you as an African. And I'm a police officer. This is why I misuse the power now. Like, literally, I misuse it. I'm gonna teach you a lesson that your country has never taught you. But you know that can happen. Why? Because again, the whole system of Africa, the way it is set up, foreigners are always protected. Anything that happens to a foreigner here, it's a big problem. It's a big deal. Oh, you need to let that nigga, you need to let that Mzungu go. You gotta let that Mzungu go. But if you an African, you're there, your rights being violated in their country, human rights being violated in their own country, no, that's not a problem. As a matter of fact, what your leaders do, they throw you under the goddamn bus. No, they just took their backward village culture behavior there. That's why they're behaving the way they're behaving. And we can't do anything about it. Let them face the consequences. Because you're an African. The degrading of the African people's identity, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy.
Chinese did some bad. You take him to the polling station. They can pay the money.
Are you saying the Chinese bribe the police?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Police corruption
He's not even confident to say yes. Is stammering and hesitating about it.
It's widespread.
们过来就是为了生活，为了养活一家人，为了挣钱。
Why do Ghanaians need Chinese people to come here and work on these mines?
Exactly.
这个我也不太清楚。
Whatever he's saying, it's bullshit. We're here to exploit you because y'all can take care of you can't take control of their resources. And shout out to John Mahama. I'm still waiting. I mean, currently Ghana is improving economically. They fast to control of their gold mining sites. If I stand corrected, John Mosquito. I think they took control of their gold mining sites, if I'm not really wrong. And I've seen some videos of people saying Ghana is doing great economically because now their currency is being backed by gold and all that. I don't have so much proof. I've not done so much research on that, but still waiting to see what John Mahama and where is going to leave the country, his leadership, and where is going to leave the country. Because this is a man, number one, who has been in the files of corruption. Let's not forget about that. And we checked literally so many evidences about him. I did a whole show about John Mahama looking at his political era when he was a president, what he did, and all the corrupt files, they were missing, deleted. Or you can't find this file. Or John Mahama is not a corrupt leader. He paid this and this. When? It's crazy. This is super, super sick. So this is their behavior. So I wonder what Kenya thinks we're going to be doing different that we've seen other African countries not doing. It's super crazy. But on the same side, that is a Nigerian actually talking. We have in Nigeria still, this will continue because this is their behavior. They won't stop, they'll continue. Now, leave alone China, we have the UAE, where Nigeria and the UAE have signed $200 million deal pact to develop defense technology. Listen, develop defense technology. Defense technology. Why didn't Nigeria, or why hasn't Nigeria come up with a strategy of building their own defense technology with all the loans that they've been getting from the IMF, the World Bank, and all that? Leave alone that. You don't even need the money. Again, you have the resources. All you need to do is, again, like Keith says, if you're cooperating with countries like China, Russia, buy some of their weapons or whatever you're going to buy from them, reverse engineer it. Let this information not stick with you, but pass it from generations to generation. And from there, you can come up with your own developed or super developed defense technology. But no, you need to collaborate with the UAE, and by signing $200 million deal. So what does the UAE get back from Nigeria? That's the question. Of course, we know it's the oil. Come on. What else? It's the oil. They're saying also cyber capabilities and satellite infrastructure. So those are the things that the UAE is offering in a deal signed with fake money, $200 million. And you know, this is not going to happen still. This money is going to be pocketed. With how corrupt Nigeria is, and not just Nigeria, but African leaders and the countries out there managed, these funds, they're going to be split. Either a quarter is going to be put in these projects and not even completed. Start the projects, not complete them. as the countries who offered you the money benefit off your ass. That's what's happening. The UAE is about to extract massive oil, I bet, from Nigeria. But we're going to see, because they're saying that the deal reflects deepening strategic cooperation. Again, we're back with the same term. It's always the strategic cooperation between the two countries with a focus on strengthening security system, advancing digital defense, and expanding space-based capabilities. And I want to see the comments of the people, what they want to say here. Someone says, in the land of the blind, no one-eyed man is the king. Exactly. In a land of the blind, the one-eyed man is the king, sorry. And someone also says the UAE defend itself against Iran first. Exactly, thank you. Let the UAE defend itself first from Iran. Because why don't they have strong, developed, or super developed defense technology system? Why is it that you're offering it to Nigeria first? That's actually an amazing comment. Why are you offering it to Nigeria first while you don't even have it? Iran is bombing the shit out of these Arabic countries. And they don't have strong... the UAE is not going to offer this deal to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar. Oh, not even to... Oh, damn. So just Nigeria. Nigeria is the most begging countries. Afghanistans. The Afghanistans are the ones who really need it, right? And why didn't the UAE come to offer this developed defense technology back then when Nigeria was tackling and struggling with terrorist groups like Boko Haram? Now we have the ISIS in Nigeria. Why didn't this happen years ago? Why right now? Oh, again, it's because of what is happening, and they need African countries specifically with oil. Nigeria, watch your back. That is, your asses are about to be, again, blown out more than what happened yesterday. More than what really happened yesterday. It's super, super crazy. But looking at that still, talking about how we massively giving away our lands, our resources. We also have the Tanzanian government, we in collaboration with the DRC Congo. Shout out to Felix Kedi. This is the same man who yesterday, in a statement and reports I gave, is opening a criminal court in DRC Congo. The criminal court is supposed to be, let me see if I can find that article and share it with you guys again. Let me see if I can. No, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna find it. It was no, I'd not queued it. It was on the news page. But yeah, he said he's going to open a criminal court to tackle corruption, to tackle corruption and all that. So the same person tackling corruption is in the corrupt files, like I said yesterday, and is now helping another country or showing them ways on how to get this money, right? So the Tanzanian government is about to sell the world's second largest freshwater lake for oil. And nobody is talking about it. So they're saying that you might have heard about the EACOP, that is the EACOP, EACOP, I think that's how I'm pronouncing it correctly, the pipeline that is being built through Uganda and Tanzania to carry crude oil to the coast. But you probably don't know what comes next. The government of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Tanzania have signed a deal to drill the second largest freshwater lake on earth. And the EACOP is the pipeline that would carry that oil out. And this is not separate story. It is the same one, and it is not too late to stop it. So you're also saying that Lake Tanganyika holds 17% of the world's fresh water surface water, and it is the oldest, deepest lake in Africa. I'm about to share a little bit of a history of that. Shout out to the young man whose video I bumped into talking about it, and even how old Lake Tanganyika is. And this is actually being depended by over 10 million people for drinking water, food, and survival. The lake is a home to more than 1,500 species. 600 of them exist nowhere else on the planet, literally. So it is one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, and this is what they want to drill into. In 2016, the DRC and Tanzania signed a memorandum of understanding to jointly explore oil in the Lake Tanganyika basin. So 2016, who was a president? I'm going to be checking on that, was the president of Tanzania. The DRC proposed using ECOP to export the oil. That is what this pipeline was always about. Not just the oil under Lake Albert. It is the infrastructure that makes drilling Lake Tanganyika impossible. ECOP is not just a pipeline. It is a door to other new extractions. And behind the door is one of the last untouched freshwater ecosystem in the planet. Tanzania launched a new licensing round in 2025, including 3 zones marked for drilling inside the lake. But the zones have not been awarded yet, and no company has started operating. No extraction has started yet. This means the projects can still be stopped before a single drop of oil leaves the ground. We have seen this story and history before. In the Niger Delta, oiling drilling poisoned the water, destroyed fisheries, and displaced an entire community. Lake Tanganyika is shared by 4 countries. A spill would spread across borders, contaminate the water supply of millions of people, and collapse the ecosystem that took millions of years to develop. And there is no cleanup for that. You see what they've done in Ghana? Leave alone just the video I've shared. That was of 2021. Just 2025, 2024, Ghanaians were complaining about the same thing. How many large water bodies have been killed because of what these Chinese miners are doing. In Nigeria, the same. When Shell came into Nigeria, they killed many large water bodies, which killed fishes, displaced communities. Until to date, Shell has not been held accountable. They're saying stopping ECOP does not just protect Uganda and Tanzania from a dangerous pipeline. It cuts off the route that makes oil drilling in Lake Tanganyika viable. 1 fight, 2 victories. No pipelines means no means no financial case for drilling. And that is why stopping ECOP right now is more important than ever. So they're saying that this is, I think, written in French and all that to explain the whole matter and all that. But yeah, that is what is happening in Lake Tanganyika. And this is being conducted between Felix Kedi and Samia Suluhu. But we want to check just a little bit. In 2016 was the president, because they're saying in 2016, DRC and Tanzania signed the Memorandum of Understanding to jointly exploit, which is to exploit, of course, which they're calling it explore oil in the Lake Tanganyika basin. So I want to see who was the president. But before we get to do that, let me give you a quick history of Lake Tanganyika from this young man.
All right, what's up, guys? This is Lake Tanganyika. Lake Tanganyika, I am on the side of Zambia, and this is how it looks like on the side. And now let me tell you something about Lake Tanganyika, the lake that you are watching behind me right here. Now, Lake Tanganyika is the deepest lake on the continent in Africa. And apart from it being the deepest, it is the 2nd deepest lake in the entire world. And when you do your research, it is approximately 1.5 kilometers deep. This lake is a wonder, a natural wonder in the world. It is the longest freshwater body lake on the entire earth, and it is a home of over 2,000 species. It has plants, it has animals, and if you remember your history very well and social studies, they say the biggest economic activity on this is, of course, fishing. And guess what? This lake is shared by 3 countries. There is Congo, Zambia, where I'm standing right now, Burundi, and Congo, Zambia, Burundi, and Tanzania. And one of the most fascinating things about this lake is that it is the oldest lake on Earth. and it is estimated that approximately it is around 9 million.
It's crazy. It's always these African puppets have, man, these people are so corrupt and so evil to the point where they don't even understand how to protect the most indigenous valued I'd say things on Mama Africa, to be specific, right? These people are so corrupt, so evil. Like, I feel like they have lost critical thinking, or they just know what they're doing too, because they do know what they're doing. They understand the consequences of this, because we're talking about 10 million people who depend on this, not just for drinking water, for food. And we're talking about over 1,500 species that live there. This is crazy. White people, I believe, man, white people have really corrupted the minds of the Africa. I don't even know if it's corrupted. I don't even know how to put it. I'm trying to figure out words to use, how to make it make sense, because these people have really damaged Africa to the point where Africans themselves don't see any big deal. Yeah, they don't see any big deal on destroying indigenous things. Talk about Ruto. Ruto just became a president, started chopping down bamboo trees. And these bamboo trees were being exported, they were being exported to Germany. And in exchange, Kenya was getting napier grass. Napier grass. Huh? Okay, let me just continue.
To 13 million years. You had me right. 9 million to 13 million years. Lake Tanganyika, the biggest and longest freshwater lake, and also it spans around 670 kilometers wide. So right that side is where you're seeing outside with Tanzania, and here is
yeah. Just a minute, let me share my screen again.
Burundi. And
but you got to guess.
Harbor is. I'll be showing you the harbor when I get in there. So right here, I'm making history. I'm on the sides of Zambia, and as you can see behind me, right there is a market where fish is being sold. And I'll get this opportunity to touch the longest freshwater body lake in the entire world. This is the lake, the oldest lake on earth, 9 million to 13 million years. 9 million to 13 million years. Sergio is bringing you the world close to you, to your phone, and touring and bringing Uganda to Zambia. Excited? Let me take.
So I bet this is not even a deal just being done, because remember we had a documentary we were sharing when we talked about Kenya and Tanzania selling their ports, privatizing their ports, and we talked about also where this deal of exporting oil to wherever they're exporting it, it was supposed to be made between 3 East African countries. That was Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, but they kicked Kenya out, and that deal remained between Museveni and Samia Suluhu. So the fact that we're seeing now this mix-up, we have Felix Kedi involved in it, because of course he's involved in it. The fact that I've not checked, let me see, who was the president in 2016 by that particular time when this deal were being signed. But this is very, very dangerous, and shout to the people bringing alert and information to this, because I bet many Tanzanians, Ugandans, Congolese, especially Congo, which is a very distracted country when it comes to war. People are just always running left, right, and center. The people don't understand what is really, really happening. So yes, this can be stopped, but more people need to be aware what their governments are doing, because this is very, very crazy. Karibu sana Keith, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Joe. How about you?
I'm good. can complain. But yeah, we're talking about how DRC and Tanzania are about to destroy the second largest freshwater lake that is in the whole world. That is the Lake Tanganyika.
Who's about to destroy it? Who is?
DRC and Tanzania.
How? What they about to do?
Okay, so I'm about shit.
I
Okay,
can't just ask you. Why can't you just tell me, Joe?
Okay, so we have a company called ECOP that signed a deal with DRC and Tanzania. That is in 2016, and that's why I want to
All
check
right.
who was president by 2016. And they're saying that the two countries are creating a pipeline that is going to be passing, that is through Lake Tanganyika, and they refreshed the license that is as of 2025. Samia Suluhu did that, and using ECOP, they are going to use ECOP to export the oil. And so let me actually just read the article for you to understand literally.
I get out. I don't need you. I understand. You said so they're gonna build
which is
a
going to
pipeline.
destroy.
They're gonna build a pipeline through that fresh water.
Yeah.
And knowing both countries' history as far as development, there's gonna be leakage. So they're gonna fuck up one of the biggest water supplies. So you would never allow this to happen. So it means as Africans, all the kind shit's going to stop. You're going to start killing motherfuckers. You got to start overthrowing people because now they're messing with your life, your livelihood. Because what you destroy first, I mean, you can save it if it does happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen because Africa is based on bribes. So since the bribing culture, there's going to be shortcuts.
Exactly.
So that means that shit's going to have all kind of problems, and it's going to cause, it's going to cause eco damage. So
exactly. So I'm going to read it very quickly just for you to understand again. They're saying you might have heard about ECOP, the pipeline that is being built through Uganda and Tanzania to carry crude oil to the coast, but you probably don't know what comes next. The government of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Tanzania have signed a deal to drill the oil from Lake Tanganyika, and this is the second largest freshwater lake on earth. And ECOP is the pipeline that would carry the oil out, and that is not a separate story. It is the same one, and it is not too late to stop this movement. The Lake Tanganyika holds 17% of the world's fresh surface water, and it is the oldest and the deepest lake in Africa. Over 10 million people depend on it for drinking water, food, and survival. The lake is home for more than 1,500 species. Actually, again, very, they said specific, very species that we won't find literally again in most parts of the world. 600 of them exist now, like you can hear, else on the planet. And it is one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, and this is what they want to drill into. In 2016, the DRC and Tanzania signed a memorandum of understanding to jointly explore, which is exploit, I call it exploit, in the Lake Tanganyika basin. The DRC proposed using ECOP to export the oil. That is what this pipeline was always about, not just the oil under Lake Albert. It is the infrastructure that makes drilling Lake Tanganyika possible. ECOP is not just a pipeline. It is a door to the new extractions, and behind the door, this is one of the last untouched freshwater ecosystem on the planet. Tanzania
that's what I said. That's what I said. The ecosystem. You're destroying the ecosystem. Not, like I said, Suluhu's corrupt. She didn't win the election. She's put in there by white people. All these puppet ass niggas that they put in there. She's a puppet kept in there. That's the problem. It's the distraction game that's going on. Tiketi's kept in there. So the African people, this about life. This about life and death. This ain't even funny. It's about life and death. So you're dealing with life and death situation. They hope that your Africans are ignorant enough to allow this to happen, because there's going to be a problem. There's going to have. You're talking about. I told you, in this century, there's going to be water wars. Try to explain it. Most people are too stupid to understand the world at hand. White people destroyed a lot of their water supplies, and so I told you, and the Arabs, they have no water. That's why Iran is blowing up all their desalinization equipment over in Dubai and all that shit. I told you, Joe. I said wartime. If I was Iran, I destroy these motherfuckers' water, and that's what they starting to do. So as I said that, next week they start destroying their water, because Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Bahrain, they don't got no water. Got me like, yeah, man, Dubai, look at them in the big building, and you thirsty as shit, you moron. You don't got no water no more, you idiot. Because most people don't understand. Most people are stupid. Don't understand how the world works. So that right there. How many communities does that supply fresh water to, Joe? How many people say? Guys say in the millions.
It's millions, because the
lake
is shared between 4 countries. We have Zambia, DRC Congo, Tanzania, and did it say again? I think Uganda, if I'm not really wrong. I think
Uganda too. So it's in the multi-millions, Joe. So you're looking at a catastrophe that are caused, and since white people have kept parts of Africa so underdeveloped, they won't have the equipment to come in and clean it up quick enough. So you're talking about people will be dying of thirst, literally dying. And then, of course, you got the fake UN, the fake United Nations, which is fake, created by the same white evil motherfuckers to rob and steal. So they'll just say, "Oh, this is a ecological catastrophe why people die of thirst." Remember, you can live without food longer than you can live without water. You can't last more than 3 days without water. You out of there. So understand this. That's something you should never be playing with. Never. But they know that they put their puppets in there, and I say most people, even Africa, are too ignorant to understand the ramifications of this. Because that like I said, they say it's one of the last ecosystems, and I know it's got to service millions of people, millions.
Of course.
Millions of people. So
Tanzania launched licensing around 2025, including 3 zones marked for drilling inside the lake. But the zones have not been awarded yet, and no company has started operating. No extraction has started yet. So this means the project can still be stopped before a single drop of oil leaves the ground. We have seen this story before in the Niger Delta. Oil drilling poisoned the water, destroyed fisheries, and displaced entire communities.
Told you.
Lake Tanganyika is shared by 4 countries. A spill would spread across the borders, contaminate the water supply of millions of people, and collapse an ecosystem that took millions of years to develop. And there is no cleanup plan for that. Of course, they never have a cleanup plan. Stopping EACOP does not just protect Uganda and Tanzania from a dangerous pipeline. It cuts off the route that makes oil drilling in Lake Tanganyika viable. 1 fight, 2 victories. No pipeline means no way to export the oil. No export route means no financial case for drilling. And that is why stopping EACOP right now is more important than ever. So literally that is what is happening. And I was sharing the video of the young man here on the screen who was explaining, of course, the history of Lake Tanganyika. I'm going to share a couple of videos of that, because this is actually a conversation that has not hit the mainstream media. People don't know about this. I bet Tanzanians themselves probably don't know. Ugandans don't know. Congolese people, literally the most people kept in the dark, if you ask me, because they're always running for their lives. And then talk about Zambia, a country controlled by white people. It's crazy.
Hold on, Joe. Hold on, Joe. You can't just say Zambia is the only country controlled by white people. All right. You just threw Zambia all the way under the bus. All right, go ahead.
So massive, it holds nearly 20% of the world's fresh water. Welcome to Lake Tanganyika, the second deepest lake on the planet. This incredible lake stretches across 4 countries in Africa: Tanzania, Burundi, Zambia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Imagine a body of water that's over 670 kilometers long. Insane, right? But here's where it gets wild. Lake Tanganyika is estimated to be 9 to 12 million years old. That means this lake has seen dinosaurs go extinct and witnessed human civilizations rise and fall. Locals have been fishing its waters for centuries, and it's deeply tied to the culture and survival of millions. Now, the biodiversity. This lake is home to over 300 species of fish that you literally won't find anywhere else in the world. Many of them are vibrant cichlids. And get this, it's so deep, 1,470 meters at its lowest point, that scientists believe there are ancient ecosystems still waiting to be discovered at the bottom. And here's a fun twist, the lake's unique currents and layered structure trap older water at the bottom, which hasn't mixed with the surface for millennia. It's like a giant time capsule of Earth's history. Lake Tanganyika isn't just a natural wonder, it's a lifeline. It provides food, transportation, and even drinking water for the millions who live along its shores. Oh, and did I mention? It's one of the clearest lakes on Earth. You can literally see several meters straight down into its sparkling waters. So, next time you're dreaming of adventures, keep Lake Tanganyika in mind. It's not just a lake, it's a window into our planet's story. Go ahead, dive deeper and learn more about this ancient giant.
Not you, AI. It's not part of your world. It's part of my world. But yeah, that is what is happening in Tanzania. And this is, talking about Felix Kedi. This is the same man we saw again yesterday. I'll remind you. He said he's opening a criminal court of corruption, for corruption. So again, remember the same man opening a criminal court for corruption is on the corrupt files. But he should start with it with himself, but they won't do that. Look at how they're about to destroy millions of lives, again, touching the most indigenous things in Mama Africa, destroying them just because you want to please and put a white gap smile on a white man's face. It's really, really crazy. So I hope Africans literally, and especially the countries who are involved or are going to be largely affected by this, not just them, but Africa needs to address this, because today it's Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, Congo, and all that. Tomorrow it's Kenya, Nigeria. Nigeria, we know Shell left a lot of damages in terms of how when they were drilling those oil and exporting them. Many large water bodies were killed. Fishes were being killed. Literally, the water was it's still till to date. I bet the water is still contaminated, of course, with oil, because they still do it recklessly. Ghana, we've seen Ghana case. They go destroying large water bodies in the name of mining, and they don't care, destroying and displacing millions of people from their community. Super crazy. I'm gonna mute you. We still more news and updates of what is happening. We have Morocco. Now, remember we had a game, I think, few months ago. Was it last year? I think. Yeah, last year or this year? Not sure. The year is going super fast. But we had a game of Morocco and Senegal. And Senegal declared victory, which was a very chaotic game. We talked about it to the point where we saw Senegalese people being arrested by the police officers in the countries, including cab drivers and all that. Not you being given peace in Morocco because you're a Senegalese. That's not going to happen. How dare you declare victory? And of course, racism living long in their blood. And like Keith says, time changes, they don't. And shout out to that Kenyan lady. I'm going to share a video after this just for her to give a bit of history. Then we're going to continue with the rest of the conversation. Morocco has been announced as the 2025 AFCON winner, with the final result being overturned by the CAF. Yeah, so they're saying that the Confederation of African Football, that is the CAF, yeah, have stripped Senegal of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations title, with the official results going down as of 3-0 win in favor of the host Morocco. Back in January, of course, it's in January. The year is going super fast. Senegal were crowned the Africa Cup of Nations champions after Pep Guya's, if I'm John Mosquito, don't come for me. Guya's extra time goal gave them 1-0 win over Morocco, and with the results was but the results was shrouded in the controversy. Morocco received Morocco received contentious penalty in second half stoppage time after Brahim Diaz was adjudged to have been fooled by the other guy. I'm not going to pronounce his name. And the incensed at the decision, Senegal head coach Pape ordered his players to leave the pitch, with only Sadio Mane choosing to remain. Eventually, after around 16 minutes, Mane was able to convince his teammates to return to Morocco's penalty, and which was saved by Senegal goalkeeper, that is Edouard Mendy. And the walk-off protest by Senegal was badly received by football authorities. Shortly after the game, the CAF confirmed that an investigation was underway and Senegal would face punishment over their action. And on Tuesday evening, that is yesterday, it was confirmed that Morocco have been crowned AFCON championship after the result was overturned. I mean, talk about racism, on your goddamn face. And the question is, what you gonna do about it? Nothing. Exactly. What you gonna do about it? What are we gonna do about it? Build our very own. We need to stop collaborating with white people, always cooperating. The bullshit is always cooperation, collaboration, thinking that we're always gonna be in the same favor as them. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just, I think, yesterday or Monday.
You was kind of rough, right? You was kind of rough, aren't you? What you gonna do about it?
It's true. You know what you're gonna do about it. There's nothing you're gonna do about it. This is why you need to have again, because you also saw America sanctioning one of the biggest basketball teams in Rwanda. And of course, we know why this is happening in Rwanda. We're not going to get into details. So many African teams, football, soccer teams, and all that. Even there's a Nigerian one which was denied the chance to go to, I think, France or I think sometime one of these years. A group of young people, amazing footballers, they were told, nah, you're black, so you're going to stay your ass where you belong. So Africans, we need to build our own. And the moment we embrace that again, the moment we start embracing wanting our people to celebrate us instead of white people, we're gonna be somewhere very far. Because exactly what Senegal did by walking out of the pitch, there was nothing wrong about that. There was completely nothing about that. It's literally you saying and standing on your ground, I'm not going to be taking any disrespect. But no, not in a white country. I'm so sorry. Not in a country, actually, leave alone, it's not even white. A country, they came, took it away from you, and now it's theirs. It's crazy. But talking about time changes and they don't, I want to share this video very quickly about this lady who's talking about giving us a bit of the Kenyan history. And then after that, we're going to wind up with other videos which are talking about now the major conversation about the long-term leaders in Africa and how they don't do anything. And if you look at all the conversations we've had, mostly have tackled things to do with resources, looking at Kenya collaborating with China, which we've seen the consequences of it, what we're exporting, what we benefit, which is nothing. The Chinese themselves admitting how they've been benefiting, exploiting Africans. But still, because China forgives our debts, we think that is, oh, okay, daddy, you forgave my debt. I'm okay. So what do you want?
That's true.
You want cocoa? You want gold? You want silver? What do you?
Yeah, now Joby understands the game. Exactly. You're wealthy. People get wealthy off your back and leave you impoverished. They're not there to be your friends. So you got groupie Africans. I think a lot of Africans are trying to stop saying that Chinese are your friends, Russians are your friends, all these other. I think the African Palestinians. No, none of these motherfuckers are your friends.
Exactly. Because the question is, I love the fact that there's an article I was reading, and it was questioning, the writer was asking, why is Africa celebrating and always celebrating the cooperation, collaboration bullshit? A good example is, it doesn't make, because it's like, make this shit make sense. China is one country. Africa is an entire continent. Yet the continent is celebrating access to the market of a single nation. Oh, let us sit down with you as an African again. Like, China is one country. Africa is an entire continent. But yet the continent celebrates access to the market of a single nation. Now, look, leave alone that. We've also talked about, we've tackled on...
And a nation that's that's declining in what? In population.
We've tackled about...
So it'd be better for Africans to develop... sorry, guys. Whew, it's cold out there. It'd be better for Africans... better for Africans to develop by themselves, because you're gonna have the biggest population, so it makes sense for you to trade amongst yourself and to make you wealthier. Why? Well, go ahead, Jeffrey. You know why.
But we've also talked about Nigeria and the UAE, and again, that's what I'm saying before I get to share the videos I've shared. If you look at all this, is us actually giving away what is ours, while other countries are benefiting off our back as we benefit literally nothing, left under the same poor infrastructure, the same fake ass development, because Nigeria is actually did sign a deal with the UAE that is over $200 million, and the pact is for them to, the UAE, to give a developed defense technology. And shout out to the person in the comment section. The person in the comment section asked, why isn't the UAE having one of the best defense technology itself?
Exactly, to defend itself from Iran. Exactly, because they don't make, UAE's not known for any defense. They're the ones when they're raping and robbing Africans. Sudan, in the Congo, they're the ones robbing and stealing with the help of their white cousins. With their military technology, you gonna give them fucking UAE. Why don't you develop your own?
They won't do it.
Same with Iran. When nobody helping Iran, they developed their own. Except for North Korea came in and eventually started helping. But they didn't help you. Oh, that's right, because you refuse to educate your people. That's the problem. You refuse to educate. You actually got to give school fees got to go. You got to actually educate your people. You know, that's what you got to do. You got to educate your people. How about that? How about that? You got to educate your people.
Education starts like this. And again, we keep on saying history is important, whether people like it or not. Those people, that is so ancient stuff. That's nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. Your daily life, your breathing, your eating, you shitting. Literally, it has everything to do with you. So you gotta pay attention. Shout out to the Kenyans. Man, Kenyans have started. I'm feeling even pressured, but still I'm not falling for the pressure. Taking the IDs because we want Ruto to go. Kenyans are refusing. We cannot have Ruto come back to power. We will have to do anything and everything for Ruto not to become a president. And I know it's gonna be very chaotic. And shout out to the people who are already understanding it's going to be very chaotic, because this man is not willing to let go, and neither are we willing to let him stay. So it's us against you. We are 56 million people. One person, and you are, I think, 200 officials only. And how many police officers? How many bullets do you even have? Let's start with that. Because it's going to take time before you call America, hey, we need the UN peacekeepers here to come and maintain peace. That's going to take time. Take time. So, let me share this video, I'm gonna put, I don't know who's talking there, so I'm gonna mute that. So I'm gonna share this video of this lady talking about the.
All right, Joey, calm down. You can mute me. Calm down.
This is the history of Kenya. That is in 1926, and she's reflecting actually the history of Kenya in 1926 and Kenya in 2026. So again, this is why history is very important and what you need to understand.
Less than 10 years after Kenya was declared a British protectorate, we experienced the first large-scale drought in Kenya. Before the British protectorate was established, Kenya had been under a private company that had a royal charter to come and exploit Kenya. It is the same thing that they are doing with carbon credits. Somebody gets a royal charter, signs it with World Bank, and comes to exploit our economy. Things change, but they've remained the same. So today, let us look at this cycle of exploitation in Africa so you can see where we are at, why Kenya suddenly moved from having no paupers, because the report was that there was not a single pauper in Africa, to now where we have famine right in this moment in the year 2026. So that the problems of...
Yeah, I like that lady. She said, that's what I said, the Kenyans are so... it's going. I don't know. You're not going to be able to keep control of Kenya. As I said, you're just not going to keep control of Kenya. There's too many smart people that see online that know stuff now. It ain't like 20 years ago when they didn't know nothing. That lady knows everything. How the white people come back in, colonizing and the Arabs and stuff, and they worship and stuff. But go ahead. I think this young lady's brilliant. Go ahead, Joe.
Seem to be repeating themselves in intensity, and this now seems to become the norm of our society, a society where this was not normal. So let's explore the elements of tribes that were used. I'm going to work with 4 tribes today. I'm introducing the Somali into this conversation. So we have the Somali, we have the Agikuyu, we have the Maasai, and we have the Akamba. These are the 4 because they also represent the ethno-profiling that was used. The Somali being martial, the Maasai being warrior and land.
Yep.
This one, the Kikuyu being agricultural, and the Kamba being commercial.
Farmers.
So we are going to look at that and explore how the profiling of these tribes also resorted to the problems and the structure, not so much the problem, but the structure of now the Kenyan society as we know it. Because
how they were exploited. She said how they were exploited. Right, she's right. How they were exploited. And shout out to other lady you called my AI lady. She shows when you go further back, you're the same people. Like I said, because you can get through linguistics. That's why, Joe, you can understand a lot of everybody's language. That's why you can understand a little bit of Kikuyu. I know you understand Kamba, and I know you understand and also Lu.
I can understand Kamba, talk Kamba. I can talk Kikuyu. Actually, talk Kikuyu. Most people confuse me for Kikuyu because I talk Kikuyu fluent.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know you knew it fluently.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Joe, but you know like 5 languages. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know Kikuyu. I know Luya. I can hear a bit of Luo, but I can hear more of Luya. And what else?
You get mad at us. You get mad at your English is better than ours. You know English. You know Swahili. You know Kikuyu. You know Lua. You know a little bit of Camp. Jesus Christ, Joe.
Exactly.
You damn been almost a motherfucking genius with your crazy ass.
I still don't talk Ebonics, goddammit. So y'all better.
You don't talk Ebonics. you kick rocks, Joby.
I'm coming over there.
People who are new to my channel, this is a dialectics forum. This is not a forum to pander to an ideal that is today here or tomorrow there, or a one event in time. It is a summary of ideas because the world is a thesis, antithesis, thesis, antithesis.
Exactly. See, what I've always taught you guys. See, she understands thesis, antithesis, and thesis, antithesis. She's talking about the dialectic. So she understands she understands the Hegelian dialectic. That's what she's talking about. Go ahead, Joe.
They remain the same and they turn over and they come back. So you have to analyze the action, then the reaction, then the reaction of the action that was reacted upon, and so on. That is what dialectics is. I'm not here to give you a constant view of life. If you're looking for that called comfort, CG what things being constant and yet we know they change and yet remain the same, then this is not. But the only way we can progress is to look at these actions and reactions so that we don't find ourselves in the worst situation. Because right now in 2026, Kenya is in the same hunger and poverty that it was in 1926. What was happening in 1926 were 3 things. We had finished the First World War. Kenya had participated because of the border with Tanzania and over there, the Germans. And in that war, 3 tribes had been co-opted heavily to participate in that war. The Akamba, the Maasai, and the Somali. It was like a test run. And in that test run, the Maasai were dropped because they seemed unable to work. The Somalis were maintained, but the British feared them because they were martial and easy to anger. They seemed like if you pissed them kidogo, wataleta mambo.
Which is still to date. The Somalians, those people are crazy. You don't want to argue with a Somali, like, just move back.
Joby, those are you know why you can't argue? Those are inbred head niggas.
Because for the weakest, people who don't know how to defend themselves and just watch someone, run over you, they
Run
just
over.
like, oh, yeah, me, I'ma beat your ass. That's simple.
That was true. So the Kamba now took that train, and the Kamba effectively moved from long distance trading, from agriculture, from iron smelting. And in fact, the entire Kenyan mining operations ended with the Kamba being co-opted into the British Army. That is how Kenya, today we are talking of iron in Kitui, copper sijui wapi. We have called that the Germans came and said we cannot mine because of the climate change. Yet they are using coal right now. It's the winter, right?
Exactly.
When the Kamba stopped, the mining for civilians ended because they were pushed into the army. Because they realized you need to take this energy and their ability to adapt easily. Because if you are long distance trading, then you adapt. Sasa tumebaki na Wakikuyu hapo katikati hatujawa mention. Now, on top of that, so you can see how you take away the trade. Then the Maasai who had been wanderers and pastoralists were now put in reserves. Of course, the Kikuyu had also been put in reserves and had remained there. The Kikuyu were not engaged to go into war because they needed to be contained until they are imprisoned so that they can get used to prison, so that when you're given a chance to go work in a white settler farm or another job, then first you'll be able to pay.
They would do it unargued. So when they need to go be slaves, they wouldn't fight back. They they'd be willing slaves. She's saying. So see, everything like Joey said. They always have a strategy. They always design systems to make sure Africans stay fucked up and impoverished. Because you're the richest continent on the planet, right? So how can you be poor? You're the richest continent on the planet.
Suffering has been hungry. The British did not come here to give us good things. For those of you here, for those Kenyans who still hold goodness.
Where exactly? Where's Simba? Simba, you need to hear this lady. I know you listening, Simba, wherever you at, brother.
Or even admiration for these things that came to colonize Kenya. See what they dealt with every tribe. So to the Agikuyu, they were kept in those reserves and they plucked them one by one. So wanatolewa kwa reserves, either to go work in the white farms or to go to work in the settler, in the domestic, or now in the towns, because now towns are emerging in the immediate sweepers and so on and so forth. That is how they removed them. But now for the Maasai, since there wasn't such utility and there were no settlers there, they were now put in reserves and they've remained in those communal lands. To this day, the rest of the land is set aside for wild animals, and the rest has been appropriated by different conservancies to conserve the land on their behalf. And they have remained in that microscope of 1926, and it is now 100 years. If you don't feel pity for this, anyway, so back now to the Maasai have been left behind and have been left behind up to this day. Last year they were supposed, or is it 2024, to get back Magadi soda because even the British were like, we are going to administer this for you for 100 years. No.
Yeah, the Magadi, God, I've not even heard about the Magadi soda since I was in school, primary.
What?
God.
Was that a piece? Was that some land somewhere, right?
Yeah, like where we get most of our salt, I'd say salt, literally Magadi soda.
Over that. So now we have the marshal, the formerly commercial people have now been put into the army, and the people who are formerly farmers are now being pushed to become laborers in the farming. Crops they had never seen, crops they had never acquired, crops that are not even suited sometimes for these grounds, animals that are prone to extinction. Now, while the British were also pondering on how to reduce the numbers and occupy more land, they did other tools that were supposed to bring order so that they could have smaller numbers to manage. Because remember, all tribes in Kenya were either republics or kingdoms. So it's very hard for them to even penetrate everybody, no matter how much they push the church. Then, with the church, let's go to the
exactly. That church shit. Exactly.
When they realized that the volatility of the Somali was a problem. They decided to leave them under religion because by 1926 they knew and understood the same purpose that the Islam religion serves is the same purpose as a Christian religion in terms of the mind control and the people. Exactly, mind control. We'll be discussing now the exploitation of the Kenyan society. There is really no difference between how religion has been used to exploit Christians and the Muslims in Kenya. That is why the conflicts. Those of you who are trying to say which businesses are owned by Muslims, which ones are owned by Christians, you are just following that trade narrative that is now looking for further ways for Kenyans to hate each other. Now, am I making sense? Anyway, I'm making an introduction, so this will get flow easier and smoother as we proceed. So the second thing, this now religion was now en masse. They made sure everybody had religion in their society. They also introduced diseases for local animals. They even brought rats with the plague to kill people, but Africans did not die. Oh yes, they did. Then when that was failing, especially once Kenya became a protectorate, they introduced the heart tax. The heart tax is what led to the first national famine in Kenya, because you either had to sell your livestock so that you can get the shilling and the pound, or you were jailed and put in those reservations. So people were forced to give them everything they had so they could get a shilling so that they could pay taxes for being Kenyans in their own land. That is how taxes were introduced. So let us look at Kenya in 1926 and Kenya 2026. We have similar things. We have high taxes for everybody just to exist. Kenya too, Sahi. We had climate change. They were saying the soil degraded.
They started her understand the fake climate change scam that they're doing. Understand that they charge you, they came, how you paying taxes on your own land as they were stealing the shit. That's why, you go to those lands, them beautiful lands in Kenya, white man is still there today. They don't hate you, they go there to dominate and steal. Like that one British guy I showed, like, yeah, we've been here for over 100 years and we're not gonna leave. we own all these acres of land in Kenya. We're going to
in reservations. And that's
remember when that white lady came to the studio with Irritan?
Yeah.
Remember that joke? And I called her people rapers and thieves. She's looking all crazy. Remember that? Yeah. Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. We're supposed to own everything.
Constant famine. The same thing. Climate change. The third one is forced labor. Now you have to work for everything, and if you don't, you are sold into the Gulf states and other states to go work for those countries. Otherwise, you're going to die. Forced labor. And the final one is overcrowding in reservations. Sisi tunawekwa sasa kwa towns, kwa affordable housing, and yet we have all this land with all this fresh air. Look at now the drainage problems in Nairobi, the mosquitoes that have evolved thanks to that problem. So Kenya has.
Yeah. So shout out to her. I've followed her page. I just bumped into her video today and I listened to her and I was like, damn, this is a history I don't even know myself. A bit of it.
Of course, you're not gonna know it exactly. You're not gonna know. Yeah, look. I said, hopefully Simba. That's what I said. You got too many. There's an awakening happen. That's what I was trying to tell you. I've been watching her a lot. And she's been putting everything together. Of course. Yeah. So she's been putting everything together. Joby, so yeah, so that's what's up. Mike in here, Joby, eats as fast as you. We got a sandwich. He ate the shit like in a minute.
Yeah. You're right. Why you keep food till it gets cold? Because you're.
Why I keep food? I'm a slow eater. Why I keep food? I keep it cold. I eat it. I don't think Mike even breathed when he ate that shit.
I'm a quick eater. You got that wrong.
I know. You don't care. You don't care what kind of man around you, Joe. I don't care. I mean.
Love me the way I am or kick rocks. That's just how it is.
Love you the way you are, kick rock. All right, go ahead.
I'm a very simple woman and I don't like complications. Take me out simple. Like, I don't have time to hold a fork and a knife on the other side. Please. You should ask Nish. I go wash my hands and I take that ugali with my hand like shit.
I know you fast like Mike. I'm like, damn, Jimmy, you done already? What am I supposed to be doing with this?
Exactly. I'm about to go get my lunch and show you how it's eaten. Very quick. I start to buy What's
going on, Byron? What's going on, Jim? How's the weather in England? How's the weather in England, Jim?
Let us know, John Mosquito.
Let us know, Jim.
I was saying earlier, this was during the Nana Akufo-Addo. They completely destroyed the water and land. Yep, I do agree. The exploitation is really crazy. Jiba Jaba Karibu Sana once again. Abdallah Karibu Sana says the debt trap diplomacy. Exactly. Churches have just let me zoom this so I can see. Churches have marble floors and schools have dirt floors. I know it's crazy. Like
make it make sense.
It's just crazy. I had a pastor saying I need 7 million Kenyan shillings. I just bought a house of 90 million and I just need 7 million Kenyan shillings to furnish the house. And he's telling the people, you're the ones who are going to give me that money. You don't think I'm going to the government or to the bank to take a loan? You are the ones who give me that money. It's crazy. You've been struggling all week eating kales and not even with avocado. Then you go give your partner money.
That's what that young lady told you. That's mind. It's not mind control. She just told you how they forced it on you. That's mind control, Joe.
You're not educated. Your pastor literally is trying to complete his school with your money. You know, going back to school, taking his children.
That's right. You'll do it and you'll kick rocks.
It's crazy. Abdullah says, okay. I also see Jiba Jaba says, when you learn Ebonics, you will be set. Hell no, I'm good.
Exactly. Tell her. Tell me when you learn Ebonics, you'll be set.
Nah.
Now you know 6 languages instead of going off everybody in the chat room. Hey, what kind of English is this? What is this? What is this?
Man, I was one among the best students when it comes to English. Like
that's true. But how you gonna look at your hood movies that you love so much, Joey, and your hood rap songs? That's all Ebonics they talking about.
I don't listen to those songs. I don't listen to them. The last time I listened to them, I also see coal is clean burning since I switched from wood. My chimney doesn't get gummed up with creosote. Yep.
Who said that? Jibba Jabba?
Jibba Jabba, yeah. Jibba Jabba.
What do you use? Wood now instead of coal?
It says coal is clean burning since I switched from wood. My chimney doesn't get gummed up with creosote.
Man, yeah, but we just came up with how you Negroes live up in Pennsylvania. This came with all them damn mountains and it's cold up there. Shit. How you live up there, Negro?
She reminds him of Maria. Shout out to Maria. Hope she's been amazing. Also
hey, Maria. Remember, Maria said she would kneel for her man. As Joby. See Joby's face? Joby, would you kneel for your man?
What?
What? Do what? Do what? Don't say what? Do what? See, Maria in Uganda said, of course, Keith. That's the culture, that's the tradition. Ask Joby that shit. What? Do what?
What's she saying?
Hell no.
I don't care how much I love you, but you gotta kick rocks, shit. I'm not kneeling for you. Kneeling for you to do what? When I saw that white woman in the studio, that was it for me. And the what on show. I shot you what I meant. Jiba says, by the time my wife sits down, I'm done eating. See? Exactly. Very quick with it. Like, what's you holding the around for? Like,
okay, you guys like Mike, I eat fast. I never was a fast eater. I can't eat fast, man. Calm down.
Mhm. Yeah, bling bling. You finna learn. I already learned about the bling bling when I was a young shit. And I parents talked like you, Florida Negroes. That's what he told you. Come on. That's Jibba Jabba.
What Jimmy Jam said about Florida Negroes? What he say?
We ain't soft like y'all, Florida Negroes.
Oh, yeah, he ain't soft like us Florida Negroes. Yeah, me and Mike soft. Because Mike was trying to get the hell out of this place. Hey, we not Pittsburgh. You like you said, Jibba Jabba. You go east, you go west. You end up in one of these hillbillies' houses all chopped up.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Let's come to the end of today's conversation, family.
What's love, family? What's love, family? Hey, we couldn't come on last night, family, because the lights were. The lights came back on quick though, Joby. Did the lights come on when you was at home, Joby?
Yeah, they came back. I got my knee in because of that darkness, man. Now I'm walking with my clutch today. Shit.
Why you didn't catch an Uber, catch a bike?
Because it was still early. I'm like, man, it's not past 10. So the hell am I taking a cab or a bike for? Like, I can walk. So going on the way home, I slid and fell on my knee, and it's really like it's like back from square one. But I don't need a bandage. I just need the cluster to walk. That's all. Because it's really.
Where's Christine at, Joe? Is Christina today?
At the back, yes.
She should have called me. I was supposed to give her some money for that motorcycle. Good.
Oh, I'm gonna let her know. But much love.
Tell her to come on up. Much love, guys. We see you guys later on the night this afternoon.
Peace and light.